Next on Worcester News Tonight, the Auburn Fire Department is looking to give back to a local organization who was devastated by a 3-alarm fire. Plus, a Worcester college is addressing the demand for training in the cannabis industry. More on the program being offered. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bottary. A kennel in West Brookfield is receiving national attention after citing numerous complaints about sick puppies sold there. One animal welfare advocate says she'd like to see the business closed for good. The Humane Society of the United States recently published a list of problem puppy mills and dog sellers in the U.S. called the 2019 Horrible 100 List. Named on the list, Winter Hill Kennel in West Brookfield.
Anyone that would exploit an animal for profit doesn't deserve to be in business.
According to the Humane Society, the state's Department of Agriculture's Division of Animal Health has received a number of complaints about sick puppies sold at Winter Hill Kennel, including 2 recent complaints in October involving puppies with infections, one so severe they say the puppy had to be euthanized. Animal welfare advocate Jeannie Hebert says she's also received complaints about the kennel.
So this is real. This is not something that's been misconstrued. This is not something that a mistake has been made. This has been going on for a very long time. I'd like to see the authorities really taking a close look, and they haven't in the past, to really get this kennel closed.
We did reach out to the Winter Hill Kennel today. The person who answered the phone said the owner was not available. After a fire devastated their building, members of American Legion Post 279 in Auburn made a vow to rebuild. A fundraiser in town this weekend will help move the process forward. Hundreds are expected to hop on their bikes and ride to help revive a staple in their community. Our Cam Jandro is live in Auburn tonight with more. Cam?
On the night of that fire, there were about 120 people in this building. Organizers here at Tuttle Post in Auburn say they have one of the strongest memberships statewide. If you have a look behind me, you can see the sign they have posted on the building. It says, "We will be back." And they're hoping this ride Sunday helps them do that. Pieces of shingles can still be found outside of the Chester P. Tuttle Legion Post in Auburn, 2 months after a 3-alarm fire destroyed the American Legion's building.
This fire was kind of a crusher, but because of that, everybody has outreached to us and everybody's working together to make it strong.
Sunday, the Post will take a step forward in their revival as they plan to rebuild. Hundreds are expected to get on their motorcycles and ride through town in an effort to raise money.
Come out to Halligan's Function Hall just to support the veterans, support the Tuttle Post. Whether they ride or not, it's going to be a great day of fun.
The Auburn Fire Department helped organize Sunday's ride. For Chief Stephen Coleman, the fundraiser is the department's way to bring back a place important to many in town.
The Tuttle Post has been there for many decades, and people within the community, it's a gathering place for them.
Finance Director Bill McLean says the support the Tuttle Post has seen since March's blaze has been a surprise.
I am excited, number one, to see our members because we haven't had a place to gather. And this is what the fire department is doing for us is just incredible.
Now on Sunday, registration is expected to start at 8:30 and it will go until about 10:15 or so. The ride is expected to start at 10:30. If you can't make it to the ride and you would like to donate, you can visit the Tuttle Post's website. We're live in Auburn tonight. I'm Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
Worcester State University is trying to address the demand for training in the cannabis industry. A new program is teaching students all about the growing business. Our Chandler Walsh has the details.
Stream under your tongue.
Skylar Martin wanted to get into the cannabis industry after using marijuana to treat her Crohn's disease. She works in administration and sales at The Botanist and says her background helps her job at the medical dispensary.
I definitely think it could be a little bit harder for someone coming in with not too much background on cannabis to suggest and break down the phenos and what it means for the cannabinoids working with the endocrine system.
The industry is growing in Massachusetts.
Worcester State professor Jeremiah Reardon says it's expected to employ 20,000 people, and the demand for training and education needs to be addressed.
There are 338 current applications under review for the Cannabis Control Commission, and 88 of them are in Worcester County, and no one was offering the training that they needed.
Reardon is spearheading a new online program in the university's Center for Business and Industry. Instructors with pharmacology and toxicology PhDs teach courses in quality control and how to open and operate a dispensary or cultivation facility.
This industry needs accountants, bookkeepers, finance, supply chain managers, operations managers.
Students can earn 9 certifications, but right now aren't getting any college credit. Reardon says it will come in time.
I honestly believe that you're going to see your full associates and bachelor's and even master's degrees in this industry in the next 10 to 20 years in Massachusetts.
At The Botanist, Martin is helping train a new group of employees, some with a background in cannabis and some without.
It's a great place for them to grow. There's a lot of area for them to move.
She says she wants to take formal classes herself one day.
If we could have more people studying that and getting out the knowledge for everybody else, it definitely would be great to have people going out there and breaking those boundaries.
Reardon says they started enrolling people in the online courses last week. It's ongoing and the pace is up to the students. He says completing it can take 1 month to a year. At Worcester State, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
New information now on the man killed after a car landed on him in his auto shop. The district attorney identifying the victim as 72-year-old Thomas Curbs. He was the owner of Tommy's Auto Station in Berlin. Curbs was found trapped underneath the vehicle on Wednesday. The official cause of death is under investigation. An anti-abortion bill signed into law in Alabama is sparking debate across the nation, including talk here in central Massachusetts. The law is the country's most restrictive anti-abortion bill since Roe v. Wade. It could punish doctors who perform abortions with life in prison. The YWCA in Worcester is a pro-choice facility offering support services for women considering reproductive health decisions. Robin Kennedy says the Alabama law is an attack on women's rights.
You know, women's rights have been on attack for a very long time. It's an attack in Alabama today. It's going to be an attack on all of our health care and right to choice in the future. We need to be vigilant because this is something that is certainly not slowing down. And women's health care and our right to be able to control our bodies is certainly on the line.
Senator Harriet Chandler also releasing a statement on the matter Friday, saying despite the awful and restrictive laws in other states, Massachusetts protects women's reproductive rights. We must give women the full range of medical options when making a decision about their pregnancy and should be expanding access to reproductive health services in Massachusetts. A new program aims to help students who may witness or experience traumatic events. The Handle with Care program allows the Worcester Police Department to contact the public schools to let them know if a child might need special attention. Our Olivia Lemon has the story.
Recognizing some Worcester public school students may witness or experience traumatic events, city and school leaders want to make sure they're doing more to help them and their families.
We're trying to provide interventions and services to children, including counseling, education.
School Safety Director Rob Pizzella says a new program called Handle with Care will allow the police department to notify school personnel and teachers when a student is involved in trauma.
All officers have been notified that if they're involved in an incident where a child experiences something unusual, some kind of trauma, whether it could be a parent overdosing or just a bad situation in a house or someone involved in a car accident, we would send an email with the kid's name, the grade they're in school, and the school they go to a particular email address. That's the only information we'd send. It's not sharing anything that should be private.
New data from the state's Department of Public Health this week shows fatal overdoses are on the rise in Worcester. Pizzella says, unfortunately, some of those cases are parents with children in the home.
We also know that there is substance abuse going on in households and that children are witnessing this, which makes them prone to themselves one day, maybe, embarking on a life of substance use and other substance abuse disorders.
City Manager Ed Augustus says students who experience something like an overdose may come into school the next day with issues they don't know how to cope with.
And while maybe the specific information about what happened last night can't be shared. The idea that something happened, that these kids need to be kind of handled with care over the next couple of days or weeks is important for teachers and principals to know.
Research shows trauma can undermine children forming relationships and their ability to learn and function appropriately in the classroom. Pizzella says he wants schools to be a safe place for students.
Schools are a haven for students to have some stability despite what's going on in their lives that's causing a lot of disharmony and unrest.
The state's Department of Children and Families also issues handle with care notices to Worcester Public Schools when they receive information of a traumatic experience. In Worcester, Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
The city of Worcester is making a call to artists in the area. Worcester is now accepting proposals for the creation of benches and bike racks for the Main Street Reimagined project and the creation of art panels for the first phase of the Worcester Wayfinding project. The city says they're hoping to bring the history of Worcester to life through art and build on the Worcester Cultural Plan. Main Street Reimagined is an $11 million reconstruction of the road, making it a complete street. Proposals are open to artists of all experience and can be submitted on the city's website. The deadline to get involved is June 28th at 10 a.m. The Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce is conducting a housing survey. One of the questions it's hoping to answer is why few employees choose to live in Worcester. The survey wants to discover ways of making Worcester and the downtown area a more attractive and desirable place to call home. The Chamber of Commerce says the city hasn't performed a housing study since 2012.
The number one concern from our 2,000 plus members is workforce, and so it's important for us for the employers to have access and retain a workforce, and part of that is housing. Housing is the backbone for everyone's lives. Kind of serve us as a kind of policy-driven information with data as well as we go and attract more investment and developers into downtown, and then we can kind of see what the community has preference for.
The survey is part 2 of the 3-phase housing study. The results will be released to the public in October. Another movie is set to be filmed in Worcester starting next week, and it's reportedly starring Ryan Reynolds. Camera crews will be in downtown Worcester. Local businesses, including coffee shop Brew on the Grid, were told filming would result in road closures. Ryan Reynolds was recently in Detective Pikachu and the Deadpool series. The city's been a hotspot for movies recently, with actors Liam Neeson and Chris Evans filming here just in the past year.